Hello and welcome. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about Safari. Let's go over to the desktop and get started. So I guess here's my topic for today. What makes Safari great? Uh, and there are some things that I really like about Safari. There's some things that annoy me about it. But the more I use it, the more I tend to like it. So, one of the things that bothered me a lot when I started, and I switched to Safari from Chrome, was the fact that I don't see my bookmarks. But you can toggle the favorites bar. And so this won't give you all your bookmarks, but it's a pretty good start. Uh, I can put the things that I really want available to me here. And first of all, if you don't see this toggle the favorites bar thing here, it's because you haven't set up your toolbar. I'm going to right click on this and customize the toolbar. And you can just take things from here and drag them up and place them where you want them up here. So anyway, this little guy, this little star, if you click it, it will toggle this on and off. And beyond that, there's this sidebar which will give you access to not only your bookmarks but also your tab groups. And tab groups are very helpful because I've got 7 tabs open here. But if I want to go to my Swift tabs, I click on this, and I believe that this closes down those 7 tabs and opens these 4 tabs that all have to do with learning Swift and Xcode. So let me see, I'm going to go back to my 7 tabs here. This is, I think, a very nice way of organizing. Uh, I hated this sidebar initially because I was used to having my bookmarks where I could just grab them. But as I said, this gives me that. It gives me that ability here. Uh, and this is just a great way of organizing. And not only do you have bookmarks, you also have a reading list here, which is very nice. And I think there's also a way of seeing your tabs that are open on other devices. So if you have an iPad or an iPhone and you have stuff open there, I think you can see it here. I don't have those devices, so I don't use that feature. Uh, anyway, that was the first big initial annoyance. And then another thing that I was struggling with here is I'm going to hit I'm hitting Command comma, and that always opens up the preferences. And let's run over here to tabs. Uh, right now I have to have this set up for separate, and this is compact. I'm going to switch over to compact view, and this of course uses up less of the screen real estate. See, everything is up here. And you can even close this menu bar up. You can have it auto hide. I don't think it works very well, auto hiding the menu bar. I think it's something that one needs to see. And sometimes I think the windows get a little confused if it's hidden. So I leave it so that it's always showing. But you can see that in compact form, uh, this is taking up much less real estate. However, I find that when you open up a bunch of these, uh, maybe not 7, but if you have 10, let's open up a few more. Uh, I'm just opening these up here. Let me go back to this one here. This gets smaller and smaller, and then if you want to click in here, and clicking in here is a way you can change the where you are. You can go to one of these favorites. You know, you can look inside of these folders and so on. If you want to find something in here, you can do it and go to my GitHub page or go to Google or something like that. But what happens is a lot of the times when you go to click on this, when this gets small, what you end up is you get this instead, which is annoying. And then you have to come over here and say okay, and it goes away, and try clicking in here again. Try to find the area that's going to give you what you want. Now, you can hit Command L, which will make you jump up here. So there is a keyboard shortcut for this, which is helpful. So that's something that you should learn. If you want to use the compact view, you should learn that keyboard shortcut. But let's go Command comma again and go back into tabs and go back into the separate view. And you'll see that this really takes up a lot more space. But what it does is it makes this very easy to click in. It makes it easy to see where you are. Now, I can change this. I'm going to hit that Command comma again. I think there's a way to get this so that I can actually see the HTTPS blah 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 rather than the what this is here. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I click on this site, for example. Yeah, so if I'm on this one, because it's a DuckDuckGo search, it shows me the search term. But if I go here, because this is a YouTube video, it shows me the URL for it, the URL for it. So yeah, that's what I want there. Okay, now let's see what's next here. When this is open, it really takes a lot of room, so I keep this closed. And I wish there was a way to hide this tab bar also, but if you go up into view, you'll see that it says always show tab bar. And moreover, this is grayed out. So there doesn't seem to be a way for me to get this to be a bright color so I can do something with it. Now, maybe if I go back to, let's see, Command, comma, let's go back to compact. It's still grayed out. So this doesn't seem to have any effect on it at all. And I haven't found anything in any of these that seems to have an effect on that. So for now, I'm stuck with this. I would love to have another one of these guys here that I could toggle this on and off with. I also wish that this guy didn't have the big border at the top and the bottom. I think that this main bar, I don't know what really to call this, uh, could be half the size and it would be fine. So if this were half the size and I could hide this when I don't need it, I think that would be pretty terrific. But it's not something that's available now. Anyway, since I've been working with this for a while, I've gotten rid of a lot of the extensions that I tried out. They don't seem necessary, but there are some things that I do like. This one is called Neo Noir, and what this will allow me to do is to make a website have dark mode. If it doesn't automatically have a dark mode, this will do it. So I like this. And one of the things I like about this is that it's turned off for all sites until you give it permission. So if I click on this, I can allow for one day, or always allow on this website, or allow on every website. And I don't want to allow on every website. I don't need it here. DuckDuckGo has a dark mode, so there's no reason for me to turn this on. Keep in mind that this extension is able to read everything on every page that I allow it on. Therefore, because it's off on DuckDuckGo, it's not able to see what I'm doing and read anything. But I have it turned on certain sites, and I don't care if it reads those sites. Those are sites that don't have. So, for example, if I had a banking application, I would not turn this on because I wouldn't want it to see the information and passwords and things of that sort. Another one that I like very much is Grammarly. Grammarly I find very helpful, and this is, I have the free version on here. There's a paid version also, and the paid version will give you more help in writing better sentences and so on. However, what I find is that in the free mode, Grammarly tells you there's something wrong, but it doesn't tell you what it is. And therefore, being as obsessive compulsive as I can be, if I see there's an error, I'll go in and try to figure it out. Now, for the paid version, it'll just tell you what you should fix. And I think that it probably will make me a better writer figuring it out on my own. So I'll go back in and I'll continue editing until I get something that Grammarly is happy about. So I'm quite pleased with this. And then I do run Social Fixer because otherwise Facebook is just, and it's a mess and has too many annoyances. And then what is this one here? I don't even know what this one is. It's not giving me a thing for it. Let's see what this is. So I guess this is DuckDuckGo. Not sure. Not sure exactly what this is. This is Ad Blocker. This is AdBlock. I think this is the control panel for it. Oh no, this is a privacy report. This is ad blocking. This is another thing that I like very much about Safari. The ad blocker on Safari actually works. If I play a video on YouTube, I don't see any ads at all. And I was having a lot of trouble with ad blocking on Chrome, where I would have to uninstall it and reinstall it almost every day, the extension, to get it to work. And I think what was happening was that the people who wrote the extension were trying to keep up with what uh, Chrome was doing. So Chrome was trying to break Chrome, and or the developers who write the websites and so on they were trying to break ad block, and Chrome was trying to keep up with it, and therefore the extension was being rewritten, but not being reloaded automatically. And so I would have to uninstall it, reinstall it, and then it would work for a day or two. With Safari, it just works. Ad blocking is just working. What is this one here? So this is another one that I find helpful, and this just sets the view quality as high as it can for videos. Otherwise, it normally will start up on a low quality, and then I'll have to go in and change it to get it to look good. And so this is just getting rid of an annoyance for me. So those are the extensions that I run on here, and I don't feel really that there are other extensions that I'm going to need. This seems to take care of my purposes. And now let's see. I'm going to go over to the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper here. And let's take a look at something. Let's bring up an article. And you'll see here that this little icon pops up here, which is Reader View. And I've gone directly into Reader View here. So here's what the page looks like normally. It's got ads on it and all kinds of crap over here and so on. But when I go into reader mode, look at that. That's much nicer. Doesn't have all those distractions. It looks really beautiful. I like the font, and I like the colors and so on. So reader mode is another thing that I like, or reader view is something that I like very much on here. And in order to get this, I'm going to right click, and when I right click on this, you'll see settings for the particular web page. And I'm going to go into that, and I had to click this on. I had to, reader is not, it's not available everywhere automatically. You have to turn it on. I think content blockers is enabled right away. And then, of course, it has all these other settings down here that you can change. But this is where you enable reader mode. Now, let's go back to YouTube. I'm going to show you, I'm going to click up in here, and then I can run over to YouTube and start up a video. And let's see. Let's get. No, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go over to my channel and start one of mine up because I don't want to. I don't want to have problems with. I don't want to have any trouble with copyright. So let me start this up and turn the sound off because we don't need the sound for this. And I want to show you that you can double click up here actually, do we need to have the sound on for this? We turn the sound on low. I think I am. I think it's... Alright, because you have to have this little symbol here. And then I'm going to right click on top of this, and I'm going to enter picture in picture. And this is very nice to have, because you can make this as small as you want. I think it's faster. And therefore, I can be... Maybe faster. I could be somewhere else. I could be looking at whatever I want to look at, and have this running in picture in picture. So that's another thing that I like very much about Safari. Now, you can get an extension in Chrome to do picture-in-picture, but I found that it didn't really work very well. That's one of the things that I like about macOS in general, is that the things that have been added for assistive technology or for things like picture-in-picture have been integrated very well into their operating system. And these features tend to not only just work, but just work very well in a very polished manner. Of course, learning where these things are is sometimes difficult. And that's why I'm making this little video. I wanted to show some of these things to explain why Safari is actually a pretty good browser. And because I'm running on an M1 chip, Safari is very much preferred because it is a native ARM application, so it doesn't hog resources, and it allows my device to operate with very low power and without grabbing a whole bunch of memory. It's very efficient, and I think it looks good. There are some things that I would like to change. For example, I'd like to see favicons up here in this toolbar. I had to add these things here using GIFs. So I just added this to the text. I go to rename, and this is a GIF character that I stuck in here. It's not a favicon. So I guess there's some advantages to that because you can always see it no matter whether or not you have access to the website. But it would be nice to have the actual favicons for some of these items here. And the choice to be able to use these, not GIFs, what are these things called? I guess they're icons. And I think you get these by hitting Shift, Command, Enter. I'm not sure. There's a way to bring up a palette of these guys, but this is pretty trivial stuff. The main items I think I've covered already. Why I think that Safari is a pretty good program. Anyway, I hope that you found this interesting, and I thank you for joining me.